All-time Marvel enthusiasts will definitely agree that Juggernaut makes Hulk look like a puny green bean. With a terribly tragic childhood to fuel his unresolved rage, Juggernaut's relationship with his stepbrother, Professor Xavier, is the embodiment of sibling rivalry on steroids. This guy is practically indestructible. He is not just any Marvel villain with a tank full of bad attitude. Juggernaut is an unstoppable force of pure, unadulterated chaos powered by the mystical Crimson Gem of Sidorak. Now folks, hold on to your capes and get ready to have your mind blown faster than Quicksilver on a caffeine overdose, because in this video we will unravel the 10 hidden powers of Juggernaut, the walking mountain of muscle and mayhem. So without further ado, let's dive right into the mystical reasons which fuel this invulnerable red behemoth. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Hey, what is this? Get off of me!
Is my spider tracer replicating?
Juggernaut's time-bending power punch. In the wild and wacky world of Marvel Comics, where reality bends like a pretzel, we often forget that Juggernaut can punch holes through dimensions and reality itself. Now, we all know that this guy is a force to be reckoned with, renowned for his raw power and ability to bulldoze through anything in his path. But what you probably did not know is that he once received a power upgrade that took his strength to mind-bending levels. It's a power that has rarely been seen since, probably because it made Juggernaut so ridiculously strong that the Marvel Universe itself quivered in fear. Okay, so in the X-Men issue 88, the X-Men found themselves trapped in a crazy trans-dimensional reality. This strange realm defied comprehension, distorting the team's powers and turning their world upside down. For the X-Men, it was like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a roller coaster. But that's where the Juggernaut took center stage. Under the influence of a cosmic trinity named Trion, Juggernaut tapped into an upgraded Crimson Gem of Sidorak and unleashed the power that defied all forms of logic. On a side note, Trion wanted to take charge of the entire reality and rip past the fabric of time and space through Juggernaut. Now, coming back to the main plot, with a single punch, Kane Marco aka Juggernaut could tear open the barriers between space and time, leading to uncharted realms beyond imagination. Now, this power was not just some parlor trick. Juggernaut wielded his ability with devastating force, following the Trion's bidding and wreaking havoc in the process. He transformed into a walking wrecking ball, smashing through reality itself, and leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. It was like giving a toddler a sledgehammer and telling them to play nice. Luckily, Storm in all her weather-controlling glory confronted Trion, realizing his true intentions, and with a flash of lightning and a mighty gust of wind, she freed Juggernaut from the clutches of the cosmic possession, allowing the world around to narrowly escape a reality-shattering cataclysm. Juggernaut's relentless power silences the need to breathe. When it comes to this indomitable red behemoth, the rules of survival are basically tossed out the window. This guy doesn't just defy death, he flips it and keeps on going like nothing happened. Imagine this: Juggernaut finds himself in outer space, drifting through the cold void where no human could survive. Or perhaps he's trapped beneath the ocean's crushing depths where the pressure alone would reduce us to a squishy pulp. But guess what? Juggernaut couldn't care less. This guy doesn't even need oxygen to thrive. Nope, not even a gasp or a wheeze. His powers bestowed upon him by the Crimson Gem sustain him indefinitely. You can try to bury him alive or send him hurtling through the cosmos, but it's all just a game of hide and seek for Juggernaut. He'll keep trudging forward, fueled by an unstoppable rage that knows no bounds. So when the options for taking down Juggernaut seem to dwindle, the odds are definitely stacked against you, because you can't kill him and you definitely can't suffocate him. Juggernaut's peerless ability to absorb force. We have already established that once Juggernaut starts moving, there's no stopping him. But what about when something comes hurtling towards him? Can an unstoppable force meet an immovable object? Well, it's the showdown you definitely do not want to miss. So, the Juggernaut possesses an incredible ability to absorb the force of any moving object, as we witnessed in the pages of Thor number 411, where the god of thunder himself decided to take on this red beast by wielding the mighty hammer Mjolnir, hurling it at Juggernaut with all his god ungodly might. But as Mjolnir crashed into the Juggernaut's force field, a force that could knock back even the mightiest opponent, something extraordinary occurred. The hammer came to an abrupt halt as if hitting an impenetrable wall and defied its very nature by reversing its course back to Thor, while Juggernaut literally hung on to the hammer's edge like a tenacious bulldog on steroids. When it comes to the Juggernaut, it's pretty much clear that he's not just an unstoppable force in motion, but also an immovable object when faced with incoming threats. This dude isn't just tough on the outside, he's practically indestructible because of his body armor, which kind of makes him an impenetrable fortress. Even if by some miraculous occurrence a force manages to breach his armor and harm his body, Juggernaut's additional layer of defense is an impenetrable force field which constantly surrounds him. This force field has thwarted the most devastating attacks, including Cyclops' full optical blast, which is apparently powerful enough to rip an entire planet in two halves. So whether it's Mjolnir or the most devastating attacks the Marvel Universe has to offer, the Juggernaut stands strong, absorbing the force and laughing in the face of those who dare to challenge him. Juggernaut's extraordinary power to forge pathways to alternate realms. We've already established that Juggernaut can not only deliver bone-crushing punches, but he also torn through space and time. But it turns out that this guy is pretty much more powerful than we can comprehend. Juggernaut can create portals between different dimensions with a single punch. To simplify it, Juggernaut can punch his way into one dimension, then with another powerful punch he can create a portal and toss his opponents into an entirely different dimension. It is like playing a twisted game of cosmic dodgeball with a universe as his playground. With a gem of Sidorak at his command, Juggernaut has unrivaled control over these portals, which act as a direct pathway to alternate realms. He can easily run at a blistering speed of 600 miles per hour, levitate to bypass any obstacle, or simply create a portal to transport himself to any location he desires. So if we combine all his reality-altering abilities together, Juggernaut can literally travel through different eras and reshape the very fabric of existence. This guy's power literally transcends dimensions, defying every universal law with a flick of one hell of a thunderous fist. Juggernaut is a reality shaper. He can manipulate matter. Once Juggernaut gains complete control over the power contained within the Gem of Sidorak, his already immaculately powerful abilities skyrocket to unimaginable heights. This hike is not just a little boost, but an astonishing thousand-fold amplification that allows him to manipulate matter to his will. One of the most striking demonstrations of this matter manipulation prowess is his capacity to alter the size of objects, which allows him to take an ordinary rock and transform it into a colossal boulder weighing in at 100 tons, effortlessly hurtling it towards his foes. It's no wonder that facing Juggernaut is a daunting task, considering his ability to turn mere pebbles into devastating projectiles. But the manipulation does not stop with external objects. Juggernaut can also alter his own matter, growing to towering heights that even surpass those of the mighty Sentinels. With each increase in size, his already immense strength becomes thousands of times more potent, rendering buildings that were once challenged to lift as mere trinkets in his colossal grasp. However, it's worth noting that his power, while impressive, may seem somewhat limited considering the full potential of the Gem of Sidorak. After all, as an unstoppable force with incredible strength and unwavering stamina, Juggernaut might not find much use in transforming objects or himself when he can simply bulldoze through anything in his path. The scale of his power seems to surpass the need for such minor manipulations. But in a surprising turn of events captured in Amazing Spider-Man number 627, Spider-Man encountered a rare sight of an unconscious Juggernaut, which was apparently the result of an attack by Captain Universe, a cosmic superhero empowered by the Enigma Force, who also had the power to manipulate matter and energy. Driven by a desire to permanently stop Juggernaut, the new Captain Universe transferred the power to Kane Marker himself. With his newfound control over matter manipulation, Juggernaut undertook a heroic act, using his powers to repair the damage caused by his previous rampage and fixing the very tectonic plates he had unintentionally disrupted. In an unexpected turn of events, Juggernaut became a hero, showcasing the extent of his power and his lurking potential for redemption. Juggernaut's tracking perfection is an unmatched power. One of the lesser-known abilities in Juggernaut's arsenal is his remarkable skill in tracking his foes. When you combine his immense speed and strength with the uncanny ability to anticipate his opponent's movements, he becomes an unstoppable force of reckoning. This tracking power is so effective that it even proves formidable against adversaries with super-speeding abilities such as the lightning-fast Quicksilver. No matter how fleet-footed or elusive they may be, Juggernaut has an uncanny knack for pinpointing their next move, move, outmaneuvering them at every turn. It adds an element of danger to his impressive pre-existing roster of powers, making him an unparalleled threat on the battlefield. In addition to that, the fascinating aspect of his sense of tracking can be attributed to his adaptability. Juggernaut can read his opponent's intentions, almost foreseeing each of their moves before they even realize their own course of action. It grants him an extraordinary advantage, enabling him to always stay one step ahead of his adversaries and manipulate their movements to his advantage. It's worth noting that Juggernaut's tracking ability has been explored only briefly in the comics. However, the potential it holds clearly makes him an immensely unparalleled force on the battlefield. He can survive without food, water, and oxygen. These are the necessities of life for us mere mortals, but Juggernaut, on the other hand, is like a freaking cockroach. He does not need food or water to survive, and as mentioned before, the dude can even live without breathing in or out. This extraordinary power stems from the immense energy and sustenance he draws from the gem of Sidorak. As a result, he is perpetually sustained, requiring no external sources of nourishment for his survival. Furthermore, Juggernaut's independence from food and water grants him unparalleled freedom of movement and endurance. He can venture to any location, embark on lengthy journeys, and engage in battles without the burden of hunger or thirst. Whether traversing treacherous terrains or enduring prolonged confrontations, he remains unaffected by the absence of sustenance, without the need for breaks or respite. Throughout the course of Juggernaut's rampages, heroes have devised various strategies to subdue him, often placing him in situations where escape seems impossible. One such instance occurred shortly after Cain Marko first obtained the power of the Juggernaut. In a fateful event depicted in Amazing Spider-Man number 230, Spider-Man had successfully trapped Juggernaut within a solid concrete foundation. For an entire month, he remained confined, encased in unyielding concrete. In this predicament, a normal human would have faced certain death due to hunger and thirst. However, Juggernaut's otherworldly force fueled his existence, providing him with the sustenance necessary to endure and persist. What a beautifully low-maintenance yet powerful antagonist. He can create any raw material. In a hypothetical scenario of Juggernaut encountering a nuclear fallout and requiring resources to construct a new stronghold, it can be assumed that his abilities grant him extraordinary powers. But what would come remarkably handy would be his capability to generate raw materials effortlessly, rendering the need for external modifications absolutely unnecessary. Juggernaut's power extends further, enabling him to summon raw materials into existence and manipulate matter at will, reshaping it into the weapon of his choosing. Thus, in the event of losing or damaging his helmet during intense battles, Juggernaut can effortlessly recreate it using the surrounding elements, manifesting it according to his desires. He is immortal. Juggernaut's exceptional durability is widely known among fans, but they may be unaware that he is impervious even to the wear and tear that can claim the lives of ordinary individuals. Just imagine if he chose to embark on an eternal journey, never ceasing his relentless stride. Even if Juggernaut were to retire from combat, he would persist indefinitely. In normal circumstances, the concept of passing away does not apply to him because of his ageless existence. Because of the gem of Sidorak, Juggernaut has attained immortality, rendering him immune to the perils of poison, old age, disease, and any other factor that could bring about his demise. By remaining connected to the powerful Crimson Gem for eternal sustenance, Juggernaut could potentially endure for countless centuries or even millions of years. Consequently, he remains eternally youthful, immune to the ravages of time, and impervious to decay. With no reliance on breathable air, Juggernaut thrives underwater and in the void of space, significantly narrowing down the roster of adversaries capable of challenging him. Furthermore, his immunity to poisons and diseases significantly limits the means by which opponents can harm him, proving that he will continue to strike fear into the hearts of successive generations of heroes within the vast Marvel universe unless a defeat in combat somehow befalls him. He is immune to psychic attacks. Juggernaut's helmet serves a crucial purpose beyond mere aesthetics, granting him the ability to withstand any form of mental assault. Similar to Magneto's helmet, which safeguards him against Professor Xavier's telepathic abilities, Juggernaut required a defense of his own. Considering the familial connection between Cain and Professor X as stepbrothers, it became imperative for Juggernaut to devise a means of protection from Charles's formidable psychic powers. Thus, he devised a helmet that effectively shielded him from the potent psychic attacks, effectively effectively neutralizing his primary vulnerability. In the pages of Amazing X-Men number 19, an intriguing development occurred when Juggernaut removed his helmet voluntarily while being in the presence of a powerful psychic individual, boldly declaring the eradication of all his former shortcomings. With this significant act, Juggernaut eliminated his susceptibility to psychic assaults, leaving him seemingly impervious to any weaknesses whatsoever. One may question the necessity of removing the only vulnerability possessed by one of the universe's most potent beings. Nevertheless, the unstoppable Juggernaut lives up to his impactful name, emerging as an indomitable force that can press forward without hindrance. As the living embodiment of unstoppable strength, Juggernaut undoubtedly stands as one of the most overpowering characters in the Marvel Universe. His wide range of extraordinary powers make him virtually unstoppable. From his incredible regenerative abilities that can swiftly heal any wounds, to his capacity to manipulate his own size, Juggernaut in himself is a unique arsenal of strengths, despite the immense might he possesses. It is sort of sad that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has yet to fully showcase the true extent of Juggernaut's abilities. Nevertheless, the memory of his reality-bending rampage, where he punched holes through dimensions and challenged the very fabric of existence, remains etched in the chronicles of Marvel Comics. And with this, we've covered the 10 hidden superpowers that are extremely underrated even to the Juggernaut fans. As we end the video, please do not forget to tell us about your favorite comic book story arc involving Juggernaut's invincible nature. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.